Look, Trump does not want this out. He wants the report never released, but he also wants Garland to remove him from his job. I just want to read for people just one line from what the letter that Todd Blanche sent to Merrick Garland. I think it's very telling as to what he wants. He says that no report should be prepared or released, and Smith should be removed, including for even suggesting that course of action, given his obvious political motivations and desire to lawlessly undermine the transition. They're clear they don't want this out, and they have a reason. What's the actual right decision to make?
The right decision is to allow Smith to do his job, which was to compile this report. It went from, and part of it was a January 6th committee up in Washington, but down in Florida as well to proceed. And Judge Cannon, as Tim just noted, sort of as an anomaly, not sort of in fact an anomaly, dismissed that case. But he has every right and should release this report. And whether or not it causes stigma or there's an issue about my ability to govern after the fact or when he becomes president, that's neither here nor there. Bad facts and bad truths are prejudicial and hurt. It is what it is, not to be so flippant, but I can understand why Donald Trump wants to avoid this, but it doesn't change the fact that those co-defendants aren't going to trial and are not going to be prejudiced under Donald Trump's DOJ and any potential possible future case.
Right, they have referred the matter to a different court in Florida as well, but I would note, it is fascinating to me because you'll hear time and time again that the American public and the voters gave a mandate in spite of what they described as lawfare against Trump. But now they're arguing that this same continuation of conversations about it would be absolutely detrimental to his ability to govern. It doesn't ring true to me in that phrase. But also on this point, they have argued that this case is not done yet. It's not final. Therefore, there's no reason or regulation that would allow, even if he were an appropriate special counsel, him to hand over a final special report. What do you make of that?
I make it the same thing I made of many of Donald Trump's filing. It's misinformation, it's dishonest, or it's a manipulation of the truth. So this is final. And what I mean by that is there is no more case going on. You just discussed, we just mentioned, there was referred to another court as a possible prosecution, but this is over, it's done. In a matter of days, it is off the books and forever gone. So this is final, and it's kind of rich that we had under her, for example, Republicans calling for the release of the audio tapes of who will be, President Biden then, about him being sort of an older guy and having issues. So this is, it's really what's good for me is what's good for Donald Trump in that moment.
Interesting point that harkens back to another report that was released very quickly by Merrick Garland and that they wanted to see. Jeremy, there's also another issue on top of the breaking news we're talking about tonight. Earlier today, Judge Merchan in New York denied Trump's request to delay his sentencing for his hush money trial. Do you think he will be sentenced on Friday as planned, or are there other opportunities that you might see him trying to delay or stall?
So what they have done is they filed what's called an Article 78. Basically, it's another means, sort of a pre-appeal, not a post-appeal, I'll call it that, to delay this case. And what that big thrust is should Donald Trump, the president-elect, be treated in the same capacity and have those same rights and protections with immunity, among other things, as a current and sitting president. If this gets delayed, which it very well could again, that's another win by Donald Trump and potentially in perpetuity, meaning this case never gets to a sentence unless it's held up in 4 years from now, or we get some finality in a decision prior to the 20th of January. But it could get delayed very easily.
And by the way, there's no indication the judge is going to actually have jail time or a fine. And the conviction presently still stands. So the idea of kicking that can down the road is a little bit head scratching for the average American.